you're relocating to Northwest Arkansas, choosing where to live is usually harder than choosing what house to buy. And most people don't realize they're asking the wrong questions until it's too late. My name is Eric Eby. I'm a local real estate agent here in Northwest Arkansas, and I specialize in helping people relocate here from out of state. I've personally moved over 40 times and helped hundreds of people with the relocation process, so rest assured, I've got it down to a science. One of the biggest mistakes I see has nothing to do with price, square footage, or finishes. It's choosing the wrong area for how you actually live. And most people don't realize they're asking the wrong questions until it's too late. Most people start their search asking things like, which city is best? Which neighborhood is the nicest? Where should we buy? Those questions feel productive, but most of the time they actually lead to confusion instead of clarity. Here's the shift most people don't make soon enough. You don't choose an area first and hope your life fits in it. You start with how you live and then work backwards. Northwest Arkansas isn't one place. It's a collection of very different cities that all have different trade-offs. And when people feel stuck or overwhelmed, it's usually because they're comparing cities instead of comparing lifestyles. The very first thing I always look at with relocating clients is what their normal weekdays look like. Where do you work, or will you be working remotely? Do school drop-offs matter? How often are you leaving the house during the week? I've seen people fall in love with a house, then realize they added 30 minutes of driving every weekday. That doesn't sound like much on paper, but it adds up fast. One client told me after moving, "We didn't think the drive would matter, but now it shapes our entire day." This is where area choice impacts quality of life more than the house itself. Next, you have to think honestly about how you spend your weekends. Are you outdoors every chance you get? Do you prefer walkability, restaurants, and events? Are kids' sports and activities driving most of your schedule? I've seen people choose an area because it sounded great, only to realize they rarely use what attracted them to it in the first place. Two areas can be the same price and feel completely different depending on whether you're 10 minutes from trails, downtown, or the places you go every weekend. There is no single best place to live in Northwest Arkansas. The right area for a young family looks very different from the right area for empty nesters, remote professionals, or retirees. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people choosing an area based on reputation instead of fit, and realizing later they've outgrown it or don't use what they thought they would. They hear everyone wants to live here, but later realize they don't actually use what makes that area popular. That doesn't mean they made a bad choice, it just means their priorities weren't fully defined yet. When people tell me they wish they'd chosen differently, it's almost never because of the house. It's usually because they didn't fully understand how their routines, priorities, and lifestyle would play out in that location. That's not a failure. That's just what happens when you're relocating without local context. And this is especially common when you're buying from out of state and trying to make decisions quickly. This is exactly why I walk relocating clients through this decision before we ever look at houses. I've put together a buyer's guide that breaks down how to think through area selection, priorities, and trade-offs, especially when you're buying from out of state. It's not about telling you where to live. It's about helping you choose an area that fits how you live. Northwest Arkansas has a lot of great options, but the right one depends on how you actually live, not a ranking list. If you're planning a move here, make sure you're subscribed. This channel is here to help you make confident decisions, not rushed ones. I'm Eric Eby with the Naturally NWA Home Team. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.